We're here. We're here.
Please don't fear. The Yapville girls are present. And you are a present to us.
Hey.
I want to apologize for last week, guys. We didn't realize I want to apologize for the last two episodes, actually, because we did not realize that... honestly, we're kind of stupid for not realizing that every warhead we put into our mouth, you were going to hear.
Sucking.
And that was disgusting.
Yeah, it will. Oh my god. Look at her.
My cats are so cute. There's always a cat around.
So, how are you? What's new? We kind of talked a lot before this, but I saved some stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous for today because we are going to film 3 to 4 episodes.
Don't tell them our secret. I'm just kidding.
So I want to be real with you guys. I feel like a little bit... I don't want to get burnt out from doing Yapville because we take it seriously and we do want it to be our full-time job one day. So we're going to try to film like 6 to 8 episodes within the next 2 weeks. So that way we can take a month off. So if we're not yapping as much in the beginning, we need it. We need a refresher.
But also...
we're going to be editing, active on social media. We're getting stickers made. I just have to hit order. I made the stickers. It's going to have our little QR code for our link tree.
Yeah, so if we're talking about things that aren't very current topics, that's why. Because this is us from the future.
We'll have so much to talk about when we get back, unless one of us dies. It's weird because during the week, I will just tell Amanda my part-time job without giving too much away because I'm scared someone will kill me. I drive for a long period of time, 2 days a week, and I'll just be listening to podcasts and I'll think of things to do for our podcast and just voice message it to Amanda. I'm like, just so I don't forget, let's do this. And then I sit here in front of the mic and I don't remember any of it.
I wanted to talk about, I literally have it saved in my notes, the Katy Perry fucking space shit.
Yeah, so Katy Perry and 6, 7, 8 other women went to...
rich people.
Yeah, rich people.
So...
we're taking up space this week.
This...
very heroic of them.
This set women back.
Yeah.
The way that she was talking about the space expedition made me sick.
I don't even know. I know it was Jeff Bezos' girlfriend, Katy Perry, some other lady whose name starts with a...
It's Oprah Gail. Oprah's wife?
Oh, is that Oprah's wife?
Is it a wife or a girlfriend?
Partner?
So anyway, I swear this was written by a man. There's no way this is real. The way they were talking about being in space. Like, we're going to be the first team ever in glam. Let me read some of this to you.
Bell bottoms in space.
She said... Katy Perry and Lauren Sanchez are committed to wearing glam that's out of this world. They said, it will also be the first time anyone has ever journeyed to space in full glam. Who would not want to get glam before the flight? Sanchez, who was engaged to Blue Origin founder Jeff Bezos. Perry chimed in, space is finally going to be glam. Let me tell you something. If I could take glam up with me, I would do that. We're going to put the ass in astronaut. This set women back. This is crazy. This sounds like it was written by a man. Like, women only care about makeup and hair. And...
yeah, you're right.
So, another person said, Evan Bow, who Evan? E-V-E-N? Even? I guess it's one of the people on the ship.
No, even Bo. Like,
oh, even Bo. She said, I also wanted to test my hair and makeup and make sure it was okay. So I skydived in Dubai with similar hair and makeup to make sure it would be good. This is what you're thinking about, girl?
I
wish that fucking plane crashed.
Rocket ship. I told Colin last night that, like, we will never be rich because we have a conscience. Like, these rich people have no conscience. Like, how many lives could you have changed with the amount of money? And they're testing sending trash out to outer space. That was their mission. why don't we just change the way things are here on Earth? We can change that. Like,
it just, I hate that.
Why are we ruining the universe? Just ruin the planet and let's all die. Like,
let's just start over.
Let's make blow up the planet pact. Planet pact? Blow up the planet blow up the planet pact.
It just set women back. Like, girl, I can't believe they were talking about fucking, we're gonna be glam. Like,
also, why does it matter? Like, why does that matter? Why does it matter that the women who went to space before you weren't in glam? They're like actually had real jobs to do.
Because women,
they didn't even go to space, and they're all out in space. Like the video. I didn't want to give it any views on YouTube, but whatever. I'm just one speck on Earth, and there's already 5.1 million views. But one of the women, I don't know who it was, but it wasn't Katy Perry. No, Jeff Bezos' girlfriend. I'm sorry. Yeah. Ma'am.
Lizard woman. That's what Nikki said last night.
That's like a plastic surgery addiction. So the one woman who it was, she goes, if you're watching the audio, I'm going to act it out. Or if you're watching video, I'm going to act it out. I brought your toy to space and you're here with me. Little Tommy, Mommy loves you from outer space. Little Becca, Mommy loves you from outer space. And she's facing her camera, looking into the ship. Outer space is behind her. Why? And like literally...
And Katy Perry with the fucking flower.
Oh my God. I'm like... My head would be glued to that window the entire time. They didn't even look outside.
Okay, first of all, my stupid ass, but I thought I saw...
This moment felt like Quasar's scream, them blasting up into space.
My stupid ass. So I thought it was just like a joke that she was going to space because she's like a flop. Katy Perry's like a flop, so everyone's like, oh, just send her to space. I thought it was just a joke, and then she was actually going to space, and I was like, wait, this is for real? And my stupid ass thought that they were going for like years.
I would have thought they would went for like a day.
No, I thought they were going for the years. Like how people go to space and they're like there forever. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe she's just going to space. I didn't realize it was 11 minutes. And what's the point?
Did they even go to space? They like went
to like the ozone layer, like the.
Anyways, let's talk about more important topics.
It's just rich people being bored. They're like, I'm bored. Let's go to space.
I gotta blow my nose off screen. I'm just nonstop sick, I guess. I think I have allergies. But anyways, not to completely change the topic, but fuck Katy Perry and all those women that went to space. I wish that it imploded like the submersible.
And wait, did you see the video of Jeff Bezos falling?
Oh,
he, face planted. Oh my God, the feeling I had, I was like, yes, do it again.
He couldn't find the door. Fucking idiot.
I hate him. Anyway.
Yeah, my hate for him and Elon Musk and all those rich men is definitely elevated from my normal hatred for men.
Yeah.
So, this week I was psychic 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, you told me about them. Well, you told me about one.
Well, one I can't really talk about because it has to do with work, but, like...
That's the one that you told me about.
No, I can tell you that one. Another thing happened at work that I just thought about the person the day before, and then they called the next day. Psychic. But it was, like, a certain topic, and they called about a topic, and it was, like, very, like, we hadn't talked in, like, a month about it. Anyways, my one psychic thing was I was on a walk. Oh, also this week I went on run/walk intervals for, like, 5 days, which I'm proud of myself. Hopefully I can keep it up. Not that you guys give a shit. Anyways, I was walking, and I was thinking about, for some reason it popped into my head. I'm like, it's so weird that, like, at other jobs I've had, there have been times where, like, our paycheck is for some reason a day late. That's never happened at this company. Like, this company's great. I don't think that would ever happen. Like, they really, care about their employees, which obviously it's not the company, it's the banks. The next day was payday, and guess what? Our paychecks were a day late. I was like, how the fuck? I haven't thought about this in years. Because remember it happened at Sephora a couple times? Mm-hmm. And I randomly think about it yesterday, and then it happened literally the next day.
Yeah,
and my supervisor said she's worked there for 30 years and it's never happened before.
You manifested that.
I'm sorry if any of my coworkers are listening.
It's all Taryn's fault.
And then something else happened, but shit, I can't remember. It was like more crazier than that. More crazier.
Crazy.
Tomorrow's Taurus season.
Yay, my favorite. Besides Leo.
Yeah. So happy Taurus season to all the Tauruses out there. We are the best sign.
Yeah.
Leo can be second best, I guess.
I'm a Taurus rising, so I guess it's fine.
I'm a Virgo rising.
Are you?
Yeah. And that's supposed to be like what you come off as.
Yeah. Your sun is supposed to just reflect on who you want to be. Did you know that?
I actually listened to a podcast this week that explained like Venus, Moon, Mars, rising, sun, and it was very interesting.
I was explaining to one of my friends, I was explaining like astrology in general, like the big three, what that meant. And I was like, it gets a little murky, like as you get deeper, like Cancer means like your bowel movements or something. Like I don't even fucking know.
Natalie, shout out Natalie. I know she's listening because she's a true fan. And she gave me the idea for the stickers with the QR code for Linktree. Linktree is so misleading. I thought you had to pay for Linktree, but if you scroll way to the bottom, you don't. Did you just hear that cute meow? Anyway, shout out Natalie, I love you. She was telling me that your Mars is like your anger, where your anger comes from. And I was like, that makes so much sense because when I get mad, I cry, and I'm a Cancer. I'm a water sign.
Wait,
Mars.
what's my Mars? Hold on. One moment. This is an astrology podcast now.
If you guys do want a good astrology podcast, I forget what it's called, but she has like one of her like series is called Astrology, and her name's Eliza, like Aliza.
Sorry, that just blew right in your face.
Blow me in the face.
My Mars is Gemini. It's kind of scary.
Are you two-faced when you're angry? Are you loud? Oh,
Yeah.
guys, we might actually have a special guest for once ever.
It's Gigi!
Gigi! Oh, my sweet baby.
Oh, it's just a little angel girl.
She's like, Mom,
no, get away
fuck
from me.
off. Okay, so my braids are like, guys, I could not be bothered getting ready today. I put on like cream blush. I probably look like I have rosacea. My braids that I did are falling apart. I was braiding my hair, and my braids start at different sections. So all I could picture was me like looking down to read on the podcast, and one day when we're famous and people make edits of us, someone zooming into where my braids start at different places and just doing that like water puke sound.
My sister's surprise birthday was last week.
How'd that go?
And we did a roast. And this just goes to show, like, I'm terrified of, like, public speaking.
Even when it's in front of people you know?
Yes, my family. It was just, like, my family and, like, a couple of her friends. And
I just burped. I'm sorry if you could have heard it. If you could have heard it.
if you could have heard it. I went up there for my part of the roast, and I was, like, looking at my phone. I started off great. I was, like, Allison. And I was, like, looking at her. I was, like, my big sister. And then all of a sudden, I just realized that people were looking at me, and everything started to twitch. Like, my face started to twitch. I was shaking. I was holding my phone like this. Like, it was bad. I was just trying to speed run it. And I was like, oh, that probably... At first, I was really good. But then, it kind of crumbled. But everyone thought it was good. They were all probably hyping me up.
That's what happened to me at Alyssa's wedding. I did a speech, and my hands were like, you could hear the paper shaking. I'm not scared of public speaking, but like my body will do that just like naturally. And
just get the shakes.
yeah. Everyone came up to me and was like, your speech was so good. I was like, okay, you're literally lying. Actually, one time I went to college for a semester, and I took English 101 and had to do a presentation in front of everybody. And it was like a research paper on like the keto diet. And, like, I don't think my research was correct. Guys, look at our special guest.
I don't think my research was correct. What do you mean?
Because I, like, did the project, and then you had to take questions after, and the one guy was like, well, isn't keto like this? Like, I think it was, like, correct.
The guy in the crowd?
I mean, it was, like, a class of, like, 15 students.
Ew. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up, Bobby.
But I feel like there's so many different opinions on diets and shit, so... I did a research paper in English, so I was like, not like I'm a fucking scientist. Should we get into these stories since we're going to be yapping a lot in other episodes?
Sure.
So, Amanda found...
Well, no. Shout out to Nikki.
Yeah, per Nikki.
I was just with Nikki last night, and she was like, I don't even listen to music anymore. She's like, I literally listen to your podcast. And she was like, and every time I mention, because for some reason I'm mentioned like a lot, She's like, the feeling I get inside of me. It's like no other. Like she's like, it's like I'm like famous.
Nikki.
We love you. We love you.
Oh, I love you.
I love you, Nikki.
I'm gonna shout out from the rooftops.
Nikki recommended this subreddit called RBI. Nope. Is it RBI?
Yeah, RBI. It's like Reddit Bureau Investigation.
There's some crazy shit in here.
Yeah, I like the Am I the Asshole stories, but I feel like we tried not to do this. We pick random crazy stories, but I don't like the repetitive. I think my husband's cheating on me. Shit.
Is my boyfriend mean? And it turns out 99% of the time he is.
Yeah.
So, should I read this?
Yeah, I think we're gonna read a couple stories from the RBI. This is like very like Amanda just mentioned this when she got here, so it's very like not what we were expecting to read, but we are going to. Oh my god! Also, bro, 2 episodes ago, I think it was episode 26, the amount of times I said like, and I just, oh my god, it was obnoxious, and I'm sorry. I need to focus on not saying that word so much.
All right.
Oh, we're sitting closer too. Oh my guys, my hair looks like shit. Stop looking at me, please.
I'm looking.
I'm just gonna go like this for the rest of the day.
No, it looks cute. Nothing about my mom's death makes any sense. Looking for help to put the pieces together. And there's like a trigger warning, obviously, that they're talking about death. I live in England, UK, and me mom, sorry, and my mom, age 59, lived alone in Wales, about an hour drive away. On the 5th of February, I became concerned after my mom had not replied to any of my answered calls since New Year's Eve. I didn't have a key and couldn't go to my mom's as I was alone with my 2 young children, so police did a welfare check. They forced entry and discovered my mom on her bedroom floor. She said she had been dead for some time. The police didn't notice anything suspicious, no injuries or sign of suicide, and determined that there was no foul play. My mom had spent 5 days at my house over Christmas and was absolutely fine, so I couldn't work out how she could just be dead a few days later. My mom sent me a text at 22:15. I cannot read military time.
It gives me a headache.
On New Year's Eve, and then never used her phone again. I believe she died that night. My mom was prescribed a lot of sedating drugs. She had depression and anxiety along with chronic pain from fibromyalgia, and I knew she misused her meds. I checked with the pharmacy and did the math, so knew how much of each medication should be left. Immediately, alarm bells went off. My mom had 56 diazepam volume delivered 4 days before she died. There was none in the house. I searched for any empty pill strips. They were nowhere. I looked in all of my mom's bins, inside and outside of the home, and opened all the rubbish bags to look, and there wasn't a single empty pill strip or box for them. I searched her garden and every inch of her house, and they weren't there. The house has been completely emptied, and they were never found. The same goes for my mom's amitriptyline pills. There were 14 pills. Again, no trace, no strips or empty boxes. All my mom's other medications were there, including a large amount of codeine and sleeping pills. I figured if it was a suicide, surely she would at least take sleeping pills. There was also no suicide note or any final text with an I love you or a goodbye to anyone. My mom had a long-distance boyfriend who hasn't heard from my mom since New Year's Eve. My mom had apparently told him she'd been to see friends at someone's house. She never said which friend, but decided to leave early as everyone was drunk and high. I've spoken to all my mom's friends, and everyone said they didn't see her. I didn't see any conversations on my mom's phone of her arranging to meet anyone. My mom also didn't drive and had limited mobility, and so relied on taxis. She hadn't used any taxi apps or paid any taxi services in the weeks prior to her death. I called the coroner, and then they decided to do a toxicology. The results showed my mom had died from a fatal overdose of amitriptyline and only had a small amount of diazepam in her system. In fact, my mom had 42 times the prescribed dose of amitriptyline, which was 6 times the lethal dose in her blood. How do you achieve that when there's only 14 pills accounted for? The toxicology suggests my mom didn't take the 56 missing diazepam pills, so where were they? To add to all of this, there were no pills found in my mom's stomach, just a small amount of undigested food. I know in the past my mom had swapped meds with people and had given meds to people in exchange for favors, like helping her when she moved the house. Let's say my mom swapped her diazepam for amitriptyline. It's a sedating drug. Why would my mom take such a massive dose and then dispose of all the packaging and strips away from her home and have no pills evident in her stomach? Something else I can't make sense of. My mom was found flat on her back in her bedroom with her head underneath the bed. I was told by police or coroner, I can't recall, that my mom likely got up out of bed and then collapsed. There was no blood, no bruising that was found during the autopsy. How do you collapse and end up underneath a solid metal bed frame without any hitting it on the way down? Additionally, my mom had complained of her house being freezing at night. She had 2 duvets on her bed to keep her warm, but she was found that she was naked. I wonder if someone else was at my mom's house when she died. Maybe rolled my mom on her back when she collapsed, and that's how she ended up with her head underneath the bed. Then panicked, took all the drugs and packaging with them. But both of my mom's doors were locked, and again, no pills in her stomach. I honestly can't even begin to come up with a scenario that can explain what happened. The police aren't interested in looking into the matter and haven't responded to my last few emails. Oh, shit.
So...
It does seem like someone must have been there. I mean...
It does. I don't think it's weird that the doors are locked because you can, like, twist the lock before you leave. I would ask, like, if neighbors have cameras or did your mom have any cameras?
She had a drug buddy who realized she'd OD and then decided to clean her out and flee.
Especially if there's a history of her trading drugs with people,
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Addicts make terrible decisions.
That sucks. And that sucks, too, because, like, fibromyalgia, can't that eventually kill you?
I think, isn't fibromyalgia, like, Lady Gaga has it. Isn't it, like, just chronic pain?
Oh, I'm probably thinking of something else then. Isn't it just chronic pain?
I don't know what it is.
I don't either, but...
So, OP's in the comments, because people are saying there must have been someone else there, and he said, I agree, but I can't work out how the doors were locked if this happened. The only way for someone to leave via my mom's back garden and lock the door behind them. They would have had to climb over my mom's back fence, and there's no gate back in the back.
Oh, like the gate fence was locked. What about the front door?
The police completely dismissed me when I asked them to look into it. As far as they're concerned, it was an overdose. Someone said maybe they have their own key. Definitely possible. My mom's front door had a chain bolt when the police arrived, so it would have had to be the back door.
What if they left out a window?
Which would make sense if they're fleeing from the scene of a death. Maybe she had a spare key somewhere on the property.
I would, like, if that was my situation, I would set up cameras, like, because they're gonna have to sell the house and shit, or, like, you know, whatever, but I would set up a camera and see if people come back to the house, because that's, like, if someone had a key, what if they come back?
Someone asked if he wants to hire a private investigator. He said, I considered it, but I don't know how much they'll be able to find out. My mom was cremated while we awaited toxicology, as the coroner was really pushing for my mom's body to be collected to toxicology.
Is that similar to, like, an autopsy? Like, it showed everything in her system, and it shows the cause of death being overdose, but...
My mom's home was rented, and we had 4 weeks to completely clear it out, so there's no scene of any of her things anymore. That is really weird how the pills that were there don't account for what was in her system.
I don't think it's weird because if she trades pills with people, say she traded pills with someone, they just put it in like a plastic baggie. She takes the pills, throws the plastic baggie out, like...
I mean, maybe.
But it's weird all her pills are missing.
Yeah, that's what's weird. It definitely sounds like someone was there.
Yeah.
There's just no way. And that her head was under the bed.
That's creepy. That's weird.
And no bruising or bleeding or anything? How does your head just
end
up
up
under the
naked?
bed?
That's
right.
Scary. Like, they should have done like
like a
R-word kit.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sad. He said his mom was 59. I don't know why I'm saying he. It could be a woman.
I feel like it would help if we knew what any of those drugs meant.
I know. Like, I don't know what amitriptyline is. It's sedating. It's a sedation. It's really frustrating. I can imagine that, like...
It's going to bother you for the rest of your life.
You know something's wrong, and the police are just like, well, it was an overdose.
Yeah, and you would want to get your mom justice if...
It definitely sounds like someone was there, and I'm just...
Foul play. I feel like what if the person's still in the house just hiding?
Well, they rented it out. So it could be.
I'm wondering, like, was it a house? Could they have gone out a window? Is there, like, a screen door or something? Like,
I don't know about... Are windows the same in, like, UK as they are here?
I don't know.
Because no one even mentioned window. But I'm thinking maybe windows are different.
Maybe.
OP was also in the comments and said that his mom was 59, but she was friends with people in their 30s.
And OP's, like, commenting right now.
Oh, yeah, he's...
Like,
37 minutes ago.
6 minutes ago. You should comment and say, could they have gone out a window?
Her being naked is extremely suspicious. That is so sad. I don't know. That's fucking crazy. I'm going to follow this. Hopefully there's an update. What if he does get, like, a private investigator that looks into it? But how would you hire a private investigator when all of it's gone? His mom was cremated. All of her stuff is gone.
Wait, what about, like, her phone? Like, text messages and stuff?
He said that they looked into it and there was no communications with anybody to meet up with anybody or...
Could it be something that she deleted? Like... Could she have had another phone? Can you reach out to the phone company?
That's smart to reach out to the phone company to see. Mm-hmm. But why would she delete it?
I don't know. I'm going to comment.
Don't worry, Detective Terry's on the case.
I'm just commenting, asking if someone could have left out a window, if they could reach out to the phone company to try and recover any kind of deleted texts or emails she was trying to hide. But we'll have to follow this one, and I will save it. And maybe there will be an update eventually.
Maybe there'll be an update, because OP's in the comments now. Maybe there'll be an update.
In like a few weeks or something.
Or like, in a few minutes. That was interesting. I like reading shit like that.
Me too. Okay, so this story is also coming from the RBI. The title is Aggressive Slow Knocks on My Back Door at 1 a.m.
Ooh.
There is an update in the beginning. So let me go back to OP's. This is from 6 days ago. Okay, so the title is Aggressive Slow Knocks on My Back Door at 1 a.m. I'm a little confused because there's no other posts from this OP, but the first word is update. So I'm just going to read and we'll figure it out. Update. Me and my boyfriend were talking in bed and we hear 6 to 8 hard and slow beats on our back door. Naturally, I was scared shitless and wanted to call 911. But my boyfriend said no. We checked everywhere and there was nobody. It wasn't a normal knock. It sounded malicious, if that makes sense. So I'm so unbelievably freaked out, and I'm scared that's going to happen again. We rent this house and have lived here not even 2 full months yet. Was it a drunk person? Was it a potential burglar? He goes back to work Monday, and I'm pretty much alone from 1 to 8 p.m., and I'm already naturally paranoid when I'm home alone. Please give me advice on what to do and what it could have been. So that was...
like the first half.
First half. This is the second half.
So that must be the update.
This must be the update, but I appreciate all the comments. So this is the update. I appreciate all the comments and advice that was given to me. I ordered a camera for outside and it hasn't picked up anything, but no one has knocked on my back door again. The next morning, me and my boyfriend checked the backyard. Our lock for our gate was cut. We tried to bang on the doors, windows, walls, and pillars outside of our house to see where it came from. It was the door frame of our back door that the person was banging on. And just to clear up some things, no, my boyfriend was not in on it just because he didn't want to call the cops. I understand why he didn't. The police around here aren't as helpful as they could be. After the second set of banging happened that night, we got up and started heading to my back door. My boyfriend went to the garage and he heard someone moving outside the garage. We asked the neighbors for camera footage, and I don't know how to even explain what the person looked like. Maybe 6'2", 300 pounds, and wearing all black. There was no face or anything in the footage. I posted it on Facebook, and it happened to 8 other people that night, along with a couple others the day before. He was 100% looking to get into somebody's house, and no, it wasn't a teenage prank. I think a couple of our neighbors called the cops and now are starting an investigation. But since a couple people didn't know what malicious sounding knocking meant, I figured I'd reword what I said and explain it better. LOL. It was 8 knocks total. 2 sets of 4, about 5 seconds between the sets. The knocking wasn't a Girl Scout knock. It truly sounded like the type of bang you would do when you want to get into somebody's house, clearly. It wasn't a hummingbird, animal tails, any animal in general. Kid prank, wind, fridge, water heater, or even the house settling. I've heard all those noises before, and there's no way to explain it. Besides, it sounds like someone was trying to beat the door down. I appreciate y'all trying to not make me stress out by giving me other possibilities. It did help me sleep, lol. Let's just hope it doesn't come around again. That's so
fucking
scary.
terrifying.
When we bought our house, the first things I bought were cameras.
I just got a camera because
And fire hydrant. Or fire
hydrants.
What are they called?
Extinguishers.
Yeah, fire extinguishers.
I just bought a camera because my mentality is if I don't see it, it never happened. But
I need to be over aware.
that's a big bitch. 6 foot,
Yeah.
300 pounds, terrifying.
That's crazy.
No, I'm scared.
Like
Banging on the door frame. Like what? Like is he using his body to try like?
that's really fucking scary.
I'm scared.
When like a year ago, we've only been in this house for like 3 years. A year ago, I went to go shut our curtains on our front window because it was getting dark out, and Colin's sitting right here on the couch. I'm shutting the window, and there's a knock on the window, and it scared the fucking shit out of me. And I was like, and I look and I see a person's face, and I was like, and I like cracked the window a little. I'm like, hello? And she's asking us for money to take the bus.
That's crazy.
For like bus fare. And I shut the window. Colin like pulls the blind over on our door because our door has like a big glass window in it. And he doesn't open the door. He's like, what are you saying? What? And she's like, could I just have some money so I can take the bus to Walmart? And Colin's like, no.
Get off of our fucking property.
Yeah. He's like, no, go, like, get out of here. Get off our porch. Which, Colin's a nice guy, and that sounds brutal, but I would fucking say the same thing.
You don't
Fuck
go to people's
that.
houses and ask for money. It's one thing when people ask at your car. I mean, even then I'm like, don't approach my car. But
And, like,
it's your own house is kind of fucking crazy.
car in-house, get the fuck away from me.
Well,
But
yeah, no.
it reminds me, there's like a, I don't know if it's like a urban legend or if it's true, I would believe it's true, that a girl will come knocking on your door in the middle of the night screaming, I need help, I need help. And really there's like all these men surrounding the house, and as soon as you let them in.
Never. I'm never answering my door. I'm so sorry.
I'll call the cops for you, but I'm sorry. You might have to die because I'm not letting you in.
I remember when I lived in the apartment across the street from my mom, it was above a salon, and a woman walked into our fucking apartment.
Oh, I remember. It was like during the day though, right?
It was
'Cause
during
she
the
thought She was
day.
going to the salon.
She was fucking weird. I don't know. She was nonverbal. She wasn't saying anything, and I was like naked, and she
Was
just
your
walks
ex home?
in. Yes.
Thank God.
She just walks in and then like just stands there, and we're like, you need to get the fuck out.
And to get into that apartment, you had to go, like, I don't think a lot of people would have thought an apartment was there. Because
No.
you had to go to the side, because I lived there before Amanda did. You had to go to the side of the building, open a door, walk up a set of stairs, open another door.
But I was so
forgot about that. That's so scary.
I was so scared that like it was a setup, like because she walked down the stairs and left, and my ex like was about to go follow her. To be like, you need to fucking leave and make sure she left. I was like, well, wait, like what if there's people out there like waiting to like get in? And she was just like the diversion.
Was the salon open or was like the
No, it
weekend?
was like a Sunday.
Oh.
So my ex brought a knife down there just to be sure. And then we called the police department, and they're like, oh yeah, we know about her. She does it all the time.
She probably lives on that street, right?
I don't know.
There's like weirdos that live on that street. But
She does it all the time. Okay. She just goes into people's houses all the time?
how long was she in your house for?
She literally, well, because you know when you open up that door to the apartment, everything is there.
Yeah.
Like everything. It's like it was like a studio with like a bedroom.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she opened up the door and we like kind of looked at each other for a minute. I was like, hello? And she just kind of stood there with the door open. Like she was standing in the hallway. She wasn't in the apartment, but she was just standing there looking at me.
That's so scary.
What the fuck? But
That's why I always keep my doors locked.
yeah, my doors are always locked. I can't believe we never locked the fucking door. We always had our doors locked since then. That was fucking terrifying.
Well, I mean, there's
But-
the one time you forgot to lock your door.
Right. But
I have a funny story about that apartment.
I don't answer the door ever. Like, when people knock on my door or ring my doorbell now, I literally hide. I'm like, who's
Same.
That?
Same girl.
Why are they here? What is that? What is that?
This is reminding me of funny stories. Like over about last summer, I was working and walking on my walking pad, and someone knocked on my door, and I was scared, so I didn't answer it. It was National Grid, and they had to shut off my power to give me the smart thing.
Yeah.
So I'm on my walking pad. They shut off my power. I go like flying backwards. I knock my water everywhere. I could have fucking hurt myself, but that apartment Amanda lived in, I lived in prior to her, and it was when in upstate New York, there's like a prison, and these 2 inmates got out because a correctional officer was like canoodling with them or something, and she like let them go. What is that prison called? D? Starts with a D? I don't know. Anyways, they're not anywhere near we live. They're like probably an hour or 2 away, but they're like cops. Like my ex-boyfriend's dad was like one of the cops in the woods looking for them. Like it was a big deal. Demora? Something like that.
Oh,
so in that apartment, it was the only time in my life I lived alone. And I would like call Amanda all the time. Like I only lived there because it was across the street from where Amanda's mom
and
lives.
Literally be on the phone for like
6 hours.
6
Like, why
hours,
are we
and
just
you're
hanging
across
out?
the street.
So like she said, it's like a studio apartment, but there's like a giant bedroom attached to it. And I put a piece of tape, because we had like an attic, like where you like have to raise a board up and like go up into the attic, crawl space attic. I put a piece of tape because I would go to work, come home, and that piece of tape would let me know if it was still there. Nobody's hiding in my attic, because I was so convinced these men hiding from the cops, being like searched, were just gonna randomly come into my apartment and hide in my attic. But another thing I wanted to mention, the lady who came to my door, knocked on the door asking for money for the bus, I posted on my local Facebook group, and this woman around the corner from me was like saying that it's happened to her, and people have like walked in her backyard and stuff, because we live kind of like really close to a kooky old person home. But anyways, all these people were like, you should have given her money or called her an Uber.
Right.
Why didn't you help her? And a lot of other people were like, you're telling a woman to answer the door for some crazy person asking for money? Like, I mean, there's people defending me, but it was like, what? What were you going to say, though, about
And when we were in high school, do you remember? You probably don't, but my mom's house is also next to train tracks. And I remember I was with my friend, and we pulled into her driveway, and there was a fucking... Someone was in like a cop chase. Like the cops went to go pull him over, and he just fucking like drove away, and then it got on foot, and he was running on those train tracks next to my mom's house, and there was a fucking helicopter. I'm not even kidding. When we got out of the car, we're in the driveway, and we're like, what the fuck is going on? And the helicopter, I swear I could have reached up and grabbed it. It was like that close, and there were like everything was blowing around me. I'm like, the lights were shining on us. I'm like, I'm just going home.
Oh, wait, was it your house or their house?
It was my mom's house.
Oh, okay.
But they were looking at the train tracks because the police chase went on foot, and it was crazy. I thought I was going to get arrested for just being at home.
But if we do want some advice on how to be safe, some of the comments, overnight a Ring camera to your home, charge the battery, hook it up. This other commenter says, one time I was convinced someone was knocking on my window in the middle of the night. I was a teenager, so I stayed up all night paranoid. Then hours later, I heard it again and caught that it was my dog's tail thumping the wall near the window. Maybe consider that it could have been an animal messing around your door. I agree that the only way to know is to investigate for sure.
Oh, this is probably before she said that she got the...
Someone said probably a drunk. Ask the neighbors if they've had similar. Also ask about the previous tenants. I rented a flat for about a month, and people have been trying to get in to buy drugs. Motion light in your backyard. That's a good one. But that is scary, though. Like, I forgot the OP said that they'd only been there for, like, 2 months. That is weird.
I'd move. I'm just kidding.
And it kind of makes me, like, when they say, like, the cops don't really care in that area, it makes me think of Barbarian, that neighborhood.
Oh, where it's, like, super fucked up?
It's probably not that bad, but... Ready for your story, baby?
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, this one's a kind of a long one, and this is definitely some trigger warnings. There's definitely some trigger warnings, violence, death, PTSD, child abuse. I guess this episode should just be called Trigger Warning because I feel like these stories are a little grim. It's coming from True Off My Chest. My mother turned me into a living doll. Hey Reddit, I really hope the title got your attention because I just need to be heard. As absolutely horror movie fiction and insane as it sounds, it was real. It happened, and I have to have it out there to be seen, to be known. So I'm telling the internet what my sick mother did to me. I'm telling you about doll mode. Trigger warning, child abuse. My brain recently decided it was time to remember the darkest things that were done to me. Of those, this one is the most recently recalled and the most fucked up. From a very early age, my mother somehow trained me to go absolutely limp on command. I was allowed to speak, but I usually didn't. Sometimes she would trigger it when I was standing and I'd hit the floor, causing pain to shoot through my body. She would then spend however long she felt like playing with me. Ugh, this is fucking weird. She picked me up on my arms, my armpits, my neck, my hair, and carried me around the house. As I got older and too big for her to carry, she started dragging me. I have many vivid memories of my legs dragging across surfaces and how rough the carpet on the stairs would rip at my skin. She would sit me in different places and play with my hair, dress me in different outfits, feed me, and sit next to me to watch TV. The whole time I couldn't move. If I tried to move, she would hit me or pinch me so hard it hurt. Sometimes she'd walk away and do something else, and would leave me sitting or laying wherever I was. I remember times she'd forget about me and I'd be left in abandoned for what felt like forever. I desperately have to pee, but I would hold it till it hurt. My mind would claw with boredom and I'd softly call out, hoping desperately she'd come back and put me back into girl mode. I tried to tell people, I really did. My teachers dismissed it as something I made up, and a part of me doesn't blame them. Even now writing this, it feels made up. My father would tell me what I was saying was ridiculous, and my mother wouldn't do that. That I was just confused. Eventually, as time passed, I got too heavy to drag, and my mother grew angry. She'd scream at me and try to force me to walk for her. My legs would shake and struggle to move. Eventually, she gave up, but remained violent and cruel. As I've shared this with my best friend and husband, I've seen the fractures of how this has impacted my life. I remember randomly collapsing at school sometimes, probably because something accidentally triggered doll mode. I had a period of a few months in 3rd grade where one of my arms randomly stopped working. I spent all of my teens and early adulthood dressing as dumpy as possible and struggled to care for myself. Sometimes year after going no contact with my family, I find myself in places and struggle to move until someone comes to urge me to get up. I don't want to believe this is real, but I know it was. This was my sick reality. For anyone concerned, yes, I've been in therapy, and I intend to seek specialists to unpack this more. I have a happy, productive life, and many people who love and support me. If you have any questions, I'll answer them the best I can. Thank you for seeing me.
That reminds me of Bebop.
What's that?
Do you know who Bebop is?
Is that I love K-pop? Is that her?
Yeah. And there's this creator, Bebop. She's like 12 or something, and her mom, she wears really heavy makeup.
And so does her. Like she
that's what I meant.
Like a doll.
Yeah, the mom basically dresses her up as like a doll, and they make all these videos together. There's all these like theories that they're both like trapped and like someone's filming them, and
I've seen all that. Yeah,
it's crazy.
This is fucking.
My name's Bebop, and I love K-pop.
I love K-pop.
Come with me and my mom to the Stray Kids K-pop store. They're always talking about that.
I know they are.
That's sad. Mom should be paying for therapy.
We said this before. People should take a test in order to have kids.
Yeah, I wish. That's never gonna happen.
Not even just an IQ test, just like a test to make sure you're emotionally
sane,
normal. Like this is. I was gonna say this is not normal behavior, but we know that. But like,
it's shitty that nobody believed her either. I wonder how old this person is and like how old she was when she was like what year she was in school that her teachers were just like, No, I don't believe you.
So someone in the comments said, have you ever confronted your mom directly? And she said, not on this specifically, but on her abuse of me and growing up many times. She gaslights me and tells me it never happened, that I'm exaggerating, that it was just one time. I can never let things go. That she wasn't perfect and she did her best. And that she will never be good enough for me.
What if she has any siblings?
That's such a mom thing to do.
Oh, I never did that. I never did that.
I tried my best. I'll never be perfect for you.
Yeah, such a mom shit to say.
Oh, I cut my brother off 4 years ago. My parents 2 years ago.
Damn.
So she had a brother. I stayed in contact with my parents for so long for the sake of my enabler dad.
So I wonder if she ever talked to the brother about it?
I don't know. Apparently, I don't know. She cut contact with him.
And like the dad? Fuck the dad. The dad sounds like Ruby Frankie's husband.
Yeah.
It was there and, I didn't realize it was happening.
Fuck that guy.
There are signs, but I didn't realize it was happening.
Which everyone's telling us, speaking of Ruby Frankie, everyone's been saying to read, what's the oldest daughter's name? The oldest daughter. She wrote a book. Mm-hmm. And her book's apparently incredible.
Ooh, interesting. I'll have to buy that.
we have to read that.
And I'll buy that and it will sit on my dresser and I'll never read it. But
like Julia Fox's book? Did you read that?
Nope. I got like 30 pages into the We'll Prescribe You a Cat, and because like at night I get stuck down here on my couch and then I finally go up to bed and it's like way too late to start reading. I need to get in the habit of going up and reading instead of laying on the couch. Oh, that was crazy.
That was fucked up. So sorry. That does sound like a fucking horror movie though.
Like what could they do if the mom was caught doing that back then? Like what? Like at what point do you take your kids away? Or
it's so hard because I feel like child services like don't help kids. Like
no, they like
see
put
all
them in
these
the fucking
stories with
foster
like
system.
Ash Ravino and like her kids and nothing.
But would you go into the foster system if your mom was making you pretend to be a doll?
I think they would probably go to like a family member before foster system if they would.
No, but like would you get your kids? Would that be considered like enough abuse to take your kids away? I mean, I don't mean to say like enough abuse.
No, I know, but like to them, you're saying. I don't know, because you see all these stories of all these kids getting fucking abused and no one's doing anything because apparently there's no evidence, like Ruby Frankie.
Yeah, and like all these influencer moms that are forcing their kids to be on camera, like that one. I don't really pay attention to these families, but I heard there was one, and California made a law where you have to like start paying your kids, so they like moved to Texas or Tennessee or something.
Up. But like Ruby Frankie, it's exactly true. Like the neighbor tried calling child
CPS?
services. Yeah, they tried calling and CPS would literally say, well, did you see the abuse happening? Like, did you ever
it's like
see
women.
her? Have you ever seen her get physical or anything? And the neighbor's like, well, no, but there is. She's like, the neighbor said, literally, I wish I just lied and said that I did.
Yeah.
So something could be done. Because just because someone's not, like, getting like beat up doesn't mean that there's not fucking abuse happening. Like, what is this?
It's like women who are stalked by men and they're like, well, if he didn't put his hands on you, there's nothing we can do. And
what were you wearing when he stalked you?
Oh my god. The time he does put his hands on you, he kills you.
Now, were you flirting with him? Did you lead him on?
She was probably wearing a short skirt.
Probably in a see-through top. She asked
Possibly
for it.
spaghetti straps.
She asked for it.
All right.
I'm kidding.
I have a story. It's kind of long, but let's get through it together, guys. This is coming from True Off My Chest. The title is I Abandoned My Husband and Daughter and Don't Even Feel Bad.
Oh.
It was written by my mom.
Sorry. So funny.
My now ex is a few years younger than me. I wanted a baby and a nice house and everything. He was handsome and going to law school and had an internship on the floor above my job. He always said that he never was the relationship type, but somehow I got him to date me.
Yeah.
And we eloped just after a few years. His parents and brothers and sisters were mad. And I'll never forget that he said, I'm sorry, it just sort of happened. I pretty much immediately wanted a baby. It took a lot. We tried for another 2 years before I got pregnant. I was elated and he was nervous. He confessed to me that he never wanted to be a father. And I convinced him that he did and he was just nervous. He accepted, and all he ever said to me that he hopes the baby had my butt and nose and not his beak. This whole time, I've just been dragging...
Wait, I'm sorry. I made a disgusted face, but I thought you said butt and nose, not butt and nose.
That's so funny. This whole time, I've been dragging him along and doing what I wanted him to do while he made the money and I spent it. I always wanted a baby boy. My whole pregnancy, I was sure I was having a boy. I don't know why looking back, but I didn't let them tell me the gender because I was so sure. I even got my ex excited to have a boy. When we were buying paint for our nursery, my ex suggested yellow, just in case it wasn't a boy. He said they can decorate it like Winnie the Pooh, and that would be cute. I remember being so mad at him for thinking that, but I didn't hate the idea, so I went along with it. When she was born, I remember them trying to hand her to me, and I practically flinched when I realized it was a girl. I didn't want to hold her. I never wanted a girl. I remember the nurses panicking and handing her to my ex. And I remember the first thing he said to her was, "Oh my God, you're an angel." He was carrying that baby around like it was attached to him. I don't think I changed a single diaper or got up once in the middle of the night. I don't think I played with her once or cuddled her. I would watch him as he'd carry her around, talking to her like she'd talk back. I remember once him holding her. He had a very distinct way of holding her sometimes, with a hand under her butt and the other on her back out in front of him. It's hard to explain. He was holding her like that and kissing her little nose and saying, "Daddy loves you, Emily." I tried to feel terrible when my first thought was, well, at least one of us loves her. From there, I realized a lot of things about myself. One, that I didn't want to be a mother. I thought that the concept was cute. I wanted an accessory kid who never cried or was hungry or needed a diaper change. Two was that I sunk my claws into whatever unlucky, wealthy, handsome, impressionable guy I could find. I didn't love him, and he didn't love me either. There was always pushback. I don't like to date. I think I'm asexual. I like my apartment. I don't need a house. I never wanted to get married. I never wanted kids. He never wanted what I was dragging him towards. I'm not sure why he went along with it. Three was that I needed to get out for everyone's sake. I tried to convince myself that it was PPD for months, but I knew it wasn't. I wasn't even depressed. I just knew this wasn't what I wanted out of life. From the time she was born, she was sleeping in his office. I don't think I kissed him or touched him at all. I began cheating on him. I think he knew. I just packed my bags one day and left while he was at work. The baby was almost 2. She was with his mom. I didn't have much that rightfully belonged to me. The house and the car and everything was his. There was a watertight prenup that he wrote himself, and I knew I would get nothing, but didn't owe anything either. I packed up my clothes, jewelry, and makeup. The only thing I didn't pack was a tea set that my grandmother gave me when the baby was born to pass on to her. I drove for 4 days to get to the other side of the country. He accepted parental rights and signed the divorce papers with absolutely no complaint or even wanted to attempt to contact me. I was mad that he didn't seem more upset. A mutual friend told me how great he was doing and how he told them me leaving was the best thing that ever happened to him. She showed me his Facebook pictures with him and his family, who I admittedly tried to separate him from. Pictures of the baby on a pool float and in a snowsuit going down a slide. It was weird to look at that baby and think it came from me. My family kept in contact with him just for the baby's sake. Every year, they'd ask if I want to see her for her birthday or if I wanted pictures when she was turning probably 5 or so. My mother was telling me that she was obsessed with Winnie the Pooh and that I should get her something like that. Finally, I just told them to stop talking to me about it. I moved on and was happily child-free. I was dating someone different every week and partying and couldn't be happier. Was this written by Casey Anthony?
Right.
I don't even regret it. Even now, as I write this, I'm filled with complicated feelings. Regret is not one of them. I didn't love him. I didn't love her either. And truth be told, I'm doing clerical work for a living and coming home to my house with 2 dogs, and I'm happy. I would have been miserable if I tried to fit myself into that life. The only thing I feel bad about was that I forced him to live with the consequences of my actions. For some reason, I decided to look him up again. That was a terrible idea. He's doing good. He aged like fine wine. He's single and happy. He's successful. I almost regretted leaving him. Seeing the pictures of his nephews' kids that I haven't seen since they were 4 or 5, who are now teenagers and adults, it was insane. The way his parents and siblings had aged, the way time actually kept moving despite me not being there. In particular, there were a lot of pictures of him hiking and camping, which is something I always kept him from. I almost threw up when I saw the picture of his baby, who is now 15. I couldn't believe so much time had passed. I went down the rabbit hole. His Facebook, to his Instagram, to her TikTok. One of her TikToks was him saying Happy Pride Month and calling himself asexual. I felt guilty. I went through her pictures for hours. She was a person now with opinions who frequently made jokes about being abandoned by her mother. She was unique, nerdy, and funny. She frequently posted pictures with her best friends. There are pictures of her with all of her cousins. She's the youngest of the bunch and the only girl. It was so surreal. She's a beautiful girl. She looks just like him, but she got my nose.
This person's a fucking dickhead.
Yeah. Well, it gave, like, Casey Anthony vibes. Casey Anthony should have went this route.
She said something in there that was crazy, and I can't remember what it was. It was like, it was around this part where she said, I'm partying now. What was that paragraph? And part of that, she said, I'm happily child-free.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. You have a fucking kid.
And, like, by law, wouldn't she owe child support legally? Depending on what country they're in.
I can't believe that you would just give birth to something after all of that and just be like, no, I don't want it.
Yeah, that is insane.
I don't want a baby. It's too late.
Yeah, you're a manipulating narcissist.
It's too fucking late. You had the baby. You can't just now be like, the idea of a baby was fun, but now I don't want to.
I mean, I guess you can, though. Like, she's not a good person.
That's a fucking asshole. You should have probably thought about this before you had a baby.
Words out of my mouth. Why wouldn't you think about it? Some of the comments are...
The top comment's funny. Glad they're thriving in life.
Yeah. Yeah, the top comment is glad they're thriving in life. Another comment is, well, you know you're terrible already, so I won't get into that. May I ask, why did you want a boy? I've always wondered why people are just so into boys. On average, I find little girls significantly more pleasant and less disgusting. Maybe it's just that boys are socialized in a way that results in behavior I don't like. Not sure. Someone told that commenter you're just being a misandrist. There are parents who treat their daughters as a golden child and leave their sons in the background. Unfortunately, despite gender, it's a harmful type of preference.
You shouldn't even have, like, I
would not want a boy if I had to have kids.
I'm never going to have kids, obviously, but I feel very uncomfortable when there's, like, a gender reveal or something.
Yeah, those
and
are
like,
weird.
And they, like, freak out, and then the other parent's, like, upset when it's
that's
Can
real
you imagine, like,
Gender reveals are fucking weird.
Yeah.
But, like, the reactions are crazy.
Like, can you imagine, like, you can't help it. Oh, sorry that you're a girl. Like,
or, like, when a dad finds out he's having a boy. Actually, there's a video I'll have to show you of their gender reveal. And the husband's just like, yes. And I'm just like, bro, chill.
Yeah, this person's terrible. When she said that she admittedly was trying to separate him from his family. Like, this is a fucking toxic person.
This is just her confession diary.
Yeah, literally.
OP did leave a comment. Someone said, like, about the gender stuff we were reading. She said, I guess I don't know. I thought maybe boys would be more fun and easier to be parents of. I think another part of me was jealous of the admittedly very beautiful baby receiving attention that I, as the youngest of my sisters and someone who had been praised my whole life for being pretty, would otherwise be receiving. That's awful of me, but I wasn't in a good headspace at the time.
This bitch is fucking insane.
I kind of, like, thought at the beginning of the story, I didn't know this because I don't have kids, but this, like, creator on social media, I watch her. I don't know why the fuck I watch her videos sometimes, but I do. But she had a video saying that, like, the first 2 months of her daughter's life, she, like, didn't feel attached to her. She, like, didn't like her. And she was, like, now, like, she, like, loves her. But I guess that can happen after you have a kid.
Yeah, well, yeah. I feel like postpartum shit is weird. Like,
postpartum also lasts 2 years. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. But
and then you have anxiety for the rest of your life. So
I feel like
not a good trade-off.
Postpartum, like, that happens, I feel like, to some mothers where they have babies and, like, they don't feel connected, or, like, the baby doesn't like them. Like, they'll try holding the baby and the baby just screams all the time. But we don't have kids, so we're not the ones to talk about this.
So, OP had left another kind of long comment about someone talking about boy mom and jealousy. She said, I would like to believe it so, yes. However, it's possible from an outside perspective, it doesn't seem that way. One thing I can say is that I've enjoyed not being tied down and frankly sleeping around, which I'm surprised to say hasn't slowed me down as I enter my 50s. Oh, shit. I find myself happy about it almost every day. I can love my friends and family, and I can love and have empathy for people around me, knowing that everyone has their own past stories and experiences. When I was younger, I was very much looking out for myself and didn't really care about who I stepped on to get what I wanted. That was something I didn't realize even for years after I left. I didn't say much about it here, but after I left, I was practically celebrating. I was free with no ties to anything. I liked imagining him being sad and missing me. I was upset to find out that he didn't. It wasn't until my late 30s that I even started to consider that I had been acting cruelly. I don't even know if it came with time or something actually happened, but I decided to change around then and worked a lot on how I related to other people. In this time, a lot of old friends who supported this behavior made their way out of my life, and now new friends had empathy and love in theirs.
She's a dick.
I mean, it seems like it worked out for everybody, honestly. I mean,
Yeah, it's good that she's not in that.
it just sucked that the girl is not going to have a mom, and it is always like it didn't really work out for her. But maybe she did have a better childhood, just being raised by a dad that loved her and not having a shit mom ruin everything. And the dad's asexual and happy, and this girl's getting railed by different men every week, every night. She's happy. Everyone's happy. But you're still fucking, even though this wasn't an Am I the Asshole, you're a piece of shit.
Asshole.
You're a piece of shit.
Okay, for my last story, I just wanted to, this one was a little heavy, so we want to
Yeah, that was long, guys. Sorry.
make this a little lighthearted. So my story is coming from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for not letting my girlfriend fart in front of me? My girlfriend, 20 female, and I, 19 female, have been dating for 8 months. Early on, I made a joke about being grossed out by farts and pooping and told her never do that in front of me. As time went on, she didn't, and it was never an issue. Tonight, the conversation came up, and I told her, although I know it's a human function, it makes me feel dirty and uncomfortable. She told me that hurting them hurts, and read farting in front of your significant other is a sign of a healthy relationship. Although I'm sure that works for others, I feel that all relationships are different, and it's something I struggle with. It should be something to compromise about, not to just let it rip. I suggested if she has to, she goes to the bathroom and comes back. For context, I tend to be hyper aware about cleanliness. Shower multiple times a day, no outside clothes in bed, anti-chewing nails, etc. Recently, I've been getting more severe, and normal things are becoming more and more bothersome for me. My brain won't stop nagging me about the air, my bed, my car, whatever it is, being contaminated, and I don't know how to stop. We both know it's most likely a problem I should look into, but I haven't yet. We're very comfortable around each other, and we'll let pretty much anything slide when we're together. I just personally need this boundary. Am I the asshole for not expecting my girlfriend to hold it in or talk about it in front of me for the time being? Yeah, let the girl fart.
Tell him to never date a vegan.
They're 2 females.
Oh, 2 females? Tell her to never date a vegan.
So a lot of people in the comments are saying that they're the asshole, obviously. I think this is something sometimes people can't control. So
I get grossed out by farts, but I'm not gonna not let my boyfriend fart in front of me. What?
Like,
Especially, do they live together?
I don't know if they live together.
I'm sure they spend a lot of time together. It's not like you guys are naked and she's open mouth farting into your face.
But apparently, it sounds like OP needs to talk to a therapist because she said that everything is contaminated, her car, the air. That sounds like something that, like, I don't know, that you talk to a specialist about. But this isn't just a boundary. Boundaries are I statements. This is a thing you can't control other people. In this case, you seem to believe that you can control her body and its normal functions. A boundary would be, I can't just be with someone who farts in front of me. Do not fart in front of me. And those are very different things. You do have a problem and you should be evaluated. Some things are basic cleanliness, but your brain always nagging you puts it in a different territory. Being hyperfixated on anything that requires evaluation requires help in determining what is normal, what is preference, and what is problematic. But very important here, you do not get to make the burden of your issue someone else's problem. That is not fair for them and is not fair for either of you, as it never addresses the actual issue. Girl, if you're like a germaphobe and like a, you know, like, and you're like struggling with that, this is like I'm sure you fart too, bitch. Like,
True.
I'm sure you burp and fart. Everyone does.
Yeah.
And listen, when I first started dating men, when I first started dating them, my stomach constantly hurts. I'm holding that shit in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And once I finally am allowed to release it, like after a few months, I'm like, thank fucking God.
Yeah.
Because I would go to the bathroom and then just like let it out and then come back out.
Makes your stomach hurt real bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Just fart. It's normal. And I'm not saying like to be like spread leg, like
Yeah, you don't have to be gross about it.
just like walk away a little bit maybe and just like poof, come back. It doesn't have to be this like.
Is OP commenting at all?
Let me see. No, because everyone's calling them the asshole. Someone said, "Oh my God, grow up." So you never fart poop. You need to seek help. You're the asshole to your girlfriends. No, OP's not commenting because
they feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just a little late.
Maybe be alone for life. Like, is that a deal breaker? Because I don't know. Is our farts contaminating? Isn't it like in your pants and it's just like poop
Well,
air?
she's saying that like she's like overly cleanliness. Like she's anti-chewing nails, no outside clothes in bed.
Oh, I feel that.
Well, yeah, but she said that it's gotten to the point where it's even worse now. It's just constantly everything is contaminated. And
She probably needs. She needs
help.
exposure therapy. It sounds like
She needs help. Like it sounds like she might have a little bit of
OCD.
Yes, I was gonna say it, but I didn't want to be like, I love organizing. I have OCD.
Actually, I that podcast Therapist.
Yeah, Jake Shane.
I only listened to one, but I listened the other day because Sophia Thatcher's on. Or I keep calling her Sophia Thatcher. Her name's Sophie Thatcher. And I listened to another podcast with her too last week, and she has OCD. And I was like, oh my God.
Before we continue, I love it. Jake Shane shows. He just pretends that one of his bits for like his live show is he just pretends that he's on a red carpet, and everyone like takes pictures and like videos of him and like the flashing of the cameras, and he just stands there and like poses.
That's really funny. All right, for my last story, it's a little bit of a shorter one since we have so much to film today. It was posted 12 days ago in Pointless Stories. The title is How My Boyfriend Saved My Life. This was a couple years ago when my boyfriend and I were at a mall together. This was one of those malls that had the Choo-Choo train for kids that circles around the first floor. As we were walking, the Choo-Choo train began to approach us. I saw the train as it was coming slowly in our direction and heard it let out a warning, "Choo!" So I began to step out of the way, but my boyfriend stopped me, put me back where I was, then moved in slow motion to push me off of the way of the train. We both dramatically tumbled to the side out of the way of the train and laughed at ourselves. And I assumed the train conductor would probably not care, if anything, be annoyed that we were temporarily in his way. But as he passed us slowly, he slowed down, leaned out of the cart, and looked at my boyfriend with wide eyes in a dramatic voice saying, "You just saved her life." My boyfriend and I started to crack up while he casually resumed his ride and the kids stared at us, confused. I'm not doing this story any justice by writing it out, but it's a very fond memory of mine that comes back to me every few months and makes me laugh. But I need more context. What the hell?
You just saved her life.
Was he like a prankster, jokester, conductor?
Yeah, that was joking. There's no way that little fucking train in a mall would kill somebody.
But when she was trying to step out of the way, I was almost like, was there going to be like a stray bullet or something? Because it sounded like she was trying to step out of the way and he pushed her to the ground.
He's like, you gotta move, the fucking train's coming. It's a fucking little tiny little mall train.
Yeah. I'm trying to look for some comments. Oh, there isn't many. Well, OP, I'm glad your life got
I know,
saved
that's
by
so
that.
scary. He's so brave.
Choo-choo. I'm coming to kill ya. Get out of my way, bitch. Her robot boyfriend shoves her aside.
Looks into her eyes. I just saved your life.
Train conductor stops in his tracks. Wide-eyed, he blurts out, "He just saved your life."
And then everybody clapped.
Everybody in the mall began to slow clap. And all the kids on the train began to cheer.
And throw candy.
Yeah, they threw candy.
Confetti.
And then a piece of candy hit her right in the right spot of her head, and she actually did die. And this is a ghost writing this story.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
Well, thanks for listening to episode 28 of Yapville. We love you guys. Don't forget to share with a friend and subscribe. And we will see you next Tuesday.
What was that? Goggles?
Walter Goggins goggle glasses.
I seen those.
Yeah.
What is that?
I think he's just being a silly goose. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.